فما كان جواب قومه إلا أن قالوا اقتلوه أو حرقوه فأنجاه الله من النار إن في ذلك لآيات لقوم يؤمنون.
So nothing was the answer of Ibrahim's people except that they said, "Kill him or burn him." Then Allah saved him from the fire. Verily, in this are indeed signs for a people who believe.
رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي فالحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ثم ما بعد. Once again everyone, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Together let's try and get to know Surah Al-Ankabut, Surah number 29 of the Quran. Yet again a late Meccan surah. One of the things that illustrates that it's a very late part of the era of the Meccan struggle of the Prophet ﷺ is that this surah begins with a story of Muslims being tortured and them being put to the test. It's narrated about Khabbab bin Arat, who's a famous companion of the Prophet, that the Quraysh grabbed him because he believed. They grabbed him, they took his shirt off, and they dropped him on top of burning coal, and they stood on top of him until the skin on his back melted off. And then they left him to rot. And he, in that horrible state, bleeding and burnt, came to the Prophet ﷺ, and he was completely disheveled, and he said, "Why is this happening to us? Why, if we are committed to the truth, we're the true believers, why isn't the help of Allah coming?" That sort of language. And it's understandably, so that a person that goes through such a horrible traumatic experience would speak like this. And so these ayat were revealed in the beginning of the surah, the first passage of the surah, Alif Lam Mim. Have people assumed that they're going to be left alone just by saying that they believe and they're not going to be put to the trial? And literally yuftanun was used. Fatana in Arabic is used for melting gold. Melting gold, like his back was melted, and yuftanun was used. And this is actually Allah's way of saying, "You're gold to me." It's Allah's way of actually highlighting the value of people like Khabbab bin Arat. And that's how gold is purified. You've been purified by this horrible experience. And Allah says, and it goes on, the ayat go on talking about how you have to hold on to your faith, and how don't think that the criminals who've committed these crimes against you, أَن يَسْبِقُونَ أَمْ حَسِبَ الَّذِينَ يَعْمَلُونَ السَّيِّئَاتَ أَن يَسْبِقُونَ سَاءَ مَا يَحْكُمُونَ. Do people think that the ones that have committed these crimes and have committed these atrocities have gotten ahead of us? What a horrible decision they've made. You think you're the victim, they're going to be the real victims for what they've done. But you just keep placing your hopes in Allah. So the Muslims are being told to hold strong. This is the time when the Muslims aren't just being ridiculed for their faith, they're being tortured now for their faith. Things have escalated really badly in Makkah. So now what happens next? It's really cool. As soon as this passage on the patience of the Muslims is delivered, Allah then talks about two prophets. He talks about Nuh alayhi salam, وَلَقَدْ أَرْسَلْنَا نُوحًا إِلَىٰ قَوْمِهِ فَلَبِثَ فِيهِمْ أَلْفَ سَنَةٍ إِلَّا خَمْسِينَ عَامًا. We sent Nuh to his people. He remained among them for 1,000 years, save 50, so 950 years. The struggles of Nuh, now you're being told, look, you've been going through struggles for a few years, but there are people who came before you who've been struggling for centuries. So learn from them.